Welcome, race fans, to the Myrtle Beach Speedway in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I am Andrew Cardinale. Alongside of me, as always, I have Brendan Elshoff, and hopefully Sam Collins is out there and able to moderate the chat a little bit. Definitely got to thank him, regardless of whether he can or not tonight. But Brendan, we're here for night number 2 of the week, and night number 2 at Myrtle Beach. And this place is one of the most just interesting tracks, I think, on the circuit. One of the most characteristic tracks that I think we'll go to really ever here in the NMNTS. It's such a cool track to be at, such a cool track to watch, such a cool track to race, and I think these guys are going to have a lot of fun with it tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of in a league of its own, kind of, for racetracks. Really short track style to it, really bumpy on the bottom side and up top as well. So it leads to a lot of fun racing to watch.
That is for sure. And right now we're watching Aiden Young complete his qualifying run. We'll switch over to PJ Popham, currently on pole. This number 1 truck is looking pretty good tonight. Kind of a surprise, actually, to see PJ doing so well on a short track like this. Haven't really seen that kind of speed from him. As far as short tracks go, I think we have to look kind of towards maybe Zach Lindgren or Jared Mogart as a couple of the best guys so far this season. But now PJ Popham throwing his hat in the bag, Brennan.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny you mentioned Zach, because Zach really seems to despise these types of tracks, but
yeah, and I think it just kind of falls right into his wheelhouse, whether he likes it or not, because they take a certain level of, I guess, just overall racing maturity. And what I mean by that is you have to be really cool-headed. You have to really take this place one corner at a time, maybe even 1 foot at a time, pretty much. You have to go a bit slower with how you attack these tracks, and Zach is pretty good at that. He's pretty good at being methodical when he hits the track, and I think that's why he ends up being so good at these places, whether he likes them or not. It just kind of works out.
yeah, it definitely plays into his favor.
And here on screen we have Jackson Allen. We look through some more of the field. Craig Lerman, I think, just came in. Jimmy McKee on track. We'll see him complete his lap right here out of turn 4. That vaults him, actually, quite a bit, up to 12th. A couple of positions at the very least, so he got a decent gain there. And he's without a charter, so he has to do good. And, well, David Levine is all right. He's, I think, letting us know he is David Levine at the very least. Kelsey Rogers on the track finally, and this guy finally got a full-time ride. He will be in the series full-time the rest of the year, and it's really cool to see him in the number 36, putting his name out there and finally getting to run his number, breaking away from your number 61 a little bit, Brennan. But, yeah, it's just really cool to see Kelsey get this full-time ride, and, granted, we were behind a lot of it. It's just... for someone that's been putting so much time and effort into these last few weeks, no matter where he ends up with a team, it's good to see him finally get that breakthrough as he goes to 15th on the boards. As we look through some more of the field, Anthony Colantuono, another one of those good stories, getting to run more and more so far this season, and he really deserves it. Brady Briggs as well. He's currently 22nd, possibly actually good enough to race tonight. He hasn't been able to run quite a few of these races. As Robbie Buckner, he actually comes into tonight 20th in points. And Brennan, let's quickly look at the points. I'm not sure if you have them on hand, so I'll go through them myself. Zach Lindgren comes in as your points leader with 6 points over Zachary Kreiser. That is a misprint. That should be the number 39 for Zachary Kreiser. That is my bad when I put this together. I must have missed that. But Jared Mogart in the number 3 comes in third, 38 points behind. And this guy has 2 starts less than the rest of the field, so he has just been stellar. Whenever he shows up at a track and shows up on pole, pretty much, he leads almost the rest of the race. Bradley Wilson comes in 4th. That's a big name to keep an eye on here tonight. It's a short track, Brennan. And as we know, he's good on these short tracks. He likes racing them.
Yeah, definitely. Bradley, unfortunately, it seems like he's been having some issues tonight. He's been popping in and out of the server. Has not put down a time yet, so hopefully we'll get to see him make an attempt at making a run tonight still.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got 5 minutes left, so we should still see at least an appearance from him. Looking further down the list, Jared Rashawn, newcomer to the NMNTS, comes into tonight 98 points behind the leader, but in 5th position in points. Blake Falone comes in 6th. Aiden Young 7th, and you can see the rest of the top 10 there. A notable, actually, is going to be Spence Thompson in 10th. He comes in as not the reigning champion, but one of the past champions. And really, I think is one of the biggest forces to be reckoned with week in, week out. But there he is, 10th in points thus far this season. As we look to the next page of your points, we'll get through the top 20 here and then call it good on the points. But Mark Broderick, another one of the fiery drivers in this series, comes in 11th. Not too bad. It would put him in hunt contention. Actually, he's in regardless via his win at Daytona. Sawyer Ott comes in currently in hunt contention. The top 3 will move on. Sorry, top 12 will move on to the hunt later on this season, but it's still a bit early for that. Terry Mason comes in 13th, 3 points behind Sawyer, so in great position to possibly make that hunt. Another name that's possibly in contention would be Ryan Daniels. He's 15 points behind the cut line, but certainly within reach of it. Joe Prechette also in that kind of area. Trevor Harmon even. And then Robbie Buckner rounds out your top 20. You can see some more names on here that I didn't mention. Moving on, though, back to qualifying. Let's see. Derek Robinson got his time down. Zachary Kreiser's running some... No, he's not running some laps. He was on track. Oh, I believe it's Joseph Andujar. It is. So Joseph Andujar currently running around the track, getting his time down finally. Looks like Trevor Harmon is also headed onto the track. A couple of teammates there from Riot Motorsports. And Brandon, I like what we've been seeing from these two recently. They're making quiet gains, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Not always ones to... unfortunately, we don't see a lot out of them. We don't really pick them up in the broadcast as much, but they're quietly making their way up the field.
That they are, and Joseph Andujar went to, let's see if we can find it, 23rd on the board, not too bad. Trevor Harmon will jump into the, see if we can find it, 25th position. It's not the greatest run maybe for him. Maybe a little south of where he wants, but he's given it one more shot, and then we'll pick up with Bradley Wilson here in a moment. As Harmon completes that lap, Trevor Harmon will move to... He gained some positions, actually. Gained a lot, up to 16th. A great run for him. Bradley Wilson now on the track. We'll see what he can do. He's had some issues here tonight, but I think he's got it worked out. He's on track now. Putting a lap down in the number 51. Across the line... And his laps aren't counting.
Yeah. Number 2.
He's got a charter, and he did technically make an attempt. I have to wonder what the admins will do about that.
Lap 2, 18.807.
There we go. It finally registered.
I wonder if maybe he barely hit the wall or something, maybe. But...
Possibly, or maybe something with the blinking issue. As he goes to 7th on the board, a great run out of him. Let's quickly look over our qualifying results, then we'll talk with our pole sitter, PJ Popham. That's the wrong screen. Sorry about that. We'll check out our results there. PJ Popham, like I just mentioned on pole. Spence Thompson looking to start from his outside. Joe Prechette 3rd. Zachary Kreiser comes in 2nd in points. He's already got a jump on Zach Lindgren, and he's going to be starting from the 4th position, Brennan.
Yeah. From there, 5th will be Jared Mogard. 6th is going to Blake O'Connell. 7th, as we mentioned, Bradley Wilson. 8th going to Jackson Allen. 9th to Sawyer Ott. And rounding out the top 10 will be Ryan Daniels.
A great qualifying effort for Ryan Daniels in the 71. Moving on to 11th through 20th, we'll quickly scan the rest of the field. You can see Jimmy McKee, Blake Falone, a couple of names in there that I think will be ones to watch out for as possibly dark horses. Craig Wehrman as well, he's starting in 11th. Clayton Kurtz would be one to watch. He loves short tracks. Kelsey Rogers, Zach Lindgren will be names to watch as well. Even Ronald White qualifying 19th, a great run out of him tonight. As we move on to 21st through 30th, we see hopefully Brady Briggs made the show. I think it's going to be a little tough. That time might not be the greatest. Seems like he's not too great on these short tracks. So maybe we'll want to get some help with David Levine and the rest of... Oh! Okay, we have word that there will not be a DNQ tonight. Looks like everybody will make the show. So Brady Briggs is safe. Good to see him in the field finally. See what he can do tonight. But as you see the rest of your starting field, Jared Rashawn, it's almost a signature move at this point in the season to just qualify in the back and work his way through. I'm not sure if that's going to work out for him, though. Brennan, track position is key at a place like Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say, that goes for anywhere that's a short track like that. It's really hard to get passes done here and work way through the field at any rate.
I would definitely have to agree. But hey, whatever works, works, I guess. They're the ones with the steering wheels in hand, not us. I mean, sure, I can grab them out on my desk, but let's not be silly about it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and key up our pole sitter, PJ Popham. That's the channel, not the driver. PJ Popham, do you have a copy?
Channel.
Yes, I do, Andrew.
Well, PJ, a great qualifying run out of you and put it on pole. We've been looking at a lot of these short track races recently where whoever sits the truck on pole generally has the best chance to close out the race as well. We saw it with Jared Mogard twice this season so far. Maybe not short tracks necessarily, but shorter tracks than we would normally go to. Do you think the same thing is going to fall true for the number one truck tonight?
Man, I sure hope so. Just try to keep it clean. Got a long race, a lot of racing. Just try to keep it clean and up front and have a shot at the end. So I'd be happy with the top 5 though, man.
Well, hey, yeah, I definitely remember coming here last season, and the name of the game was to just make it to the end, and if you made it to the end, you probably at least had a top 10, if not a top 5. So we'll see how that number one truck does for you. You're starting from the best position possible, really. Sure, you can argue that maybe going to the back would keep you in shape, I suppose, to not get in these wrecks, but when things get clogged up at this track, there's nowhere to go and you can easily lose a lap if not get some damage. So starting first, best position, we'll see what you can do. The stages are going to be key for you. How are you going to play those?
We'll just try to stay out front and run them as, depending on where the cautions fall is really going to be, how you play them. If you get a caution towards the middle of a stage break here, I think there are 80 laps, 80, and 40 is the last stage. So if you can catch a break right in the middle, maybe stop. But otherwise, you're going to be staying out on the track. Track position here is pretty important.
It definitely is, and you've got the greatest start there once more, starting from first. Who do you have to shout out for helping out in that number one truck?
Old School Motorsports, Coca-Cola, HRL. I'd like to shout out, NMNTS and you guys up in the booth too for broadcasting these things. It's a lot of fun being here, so I'm just thankful to be a part of this and be racing for some fun.
Sounds great, man. As you come in looking for a hunt position, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we're talking to you later on in the event.
10-4, Andrew. Look forward to talking to you later.
And that has been your pole sitter, PJ Popham. Good to talk with him before the race, and since we have the time, I want to see if we can maybe dial up a couple of other drivers. Who do you say we talk to, Brennan?
We haven't had an interview with Spence in a while. I think he's number 2.
You know what? That's a great call, actually. We'll talk to our front row here before the race gets going. So we'll dial up Spence Thompson. Do you want to start off with him?
Sure. Grab him here. I don't actually see him, actually.
He should be in the waiting booth.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I did that.
Him.
Yeah, I did that without telling you.
Hey there, Spence. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, buddy. Well, front row ticket for you tonight. How's that feel so far?
So far, so good, man. Hopefully we can keep this car out of trouble tonight and hopefully try to get us at least maybe a top 5 run in this thing. I think top 5 run would definitely be a successful night, I would think.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with that with you. We kind of hit on it with PJ a little bit. The track position really is going to be here, and there's one better spot for you, but I think really the front row is really going to be a big factor for you tonight. What do you think on that?
Well, it definitely will be, and then like you said too, track position is definitely going to play, I think, a key role in there. Because the problem will be if you get stuck in the back, it's going to be really hard to pass a lot tonight. So yeah, definitely going to be the biggest key for me tonight is going to be track position as well there, and like you said, yeah, definitely starting on the front row tonight is going to be, I think, it's going to be a good advantage. I'm kind of glad they'll be starting on the outside lane, so then that way we can just kind of ride around for a second, kind of hopefully let everything sort out and try to get in a rhythm and get some long green runs in here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing I wanted to hit on with you. We've had some tracks which, are kind of really technical, and you wouldn't think a lot of people do really well at, and they do really well. And then we have other tracks where they seem pretty easy, and we have a lot of issues there. This side, I have to say, is on a little bit more of the technical side. Do you think the guys can keep it together and get a good green flag run in?
I hope so, man, because as many times as I've been in here in public lobbies, I mean, there's been a couple of races in here where I've been able to get to that point where, there can be a lot of good long green flag runs and there can be a lot of good racing like that. But this one definitely will fall into the technical category tonight because it's not just one of them tracks where you can just kind of, be able to pick a lane and kind of run it. You're kind of going to be somewhat dictated by, what other lanes the other guys are running out there tonight. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of technical driving tonight. I mean, you're going to see a lot of people probably getting into the wall off of turn 4 and off of turn 2 a lot. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that tonight. So I mean, you can get caught up in something really, really fast here as well. So I mean, it's definitely going to keep us on our toes tonight. But we're looking forward to it. We got a good record here, and hopefully we can keep that going.
It definitely sounds good. Andrew, you have anything you'd like to add?
Just going to wish you the best of luck as always. Certainly a good-looking number 89 that you got there sitting on the outside pole. And like we were just talking with PJ, track position is prime. And it's going to work out well, even starting on the outside line. It may not come in right away in the race, but I think it's still going to be a really good position to start second, at least the first of the outside line guys to get a starting spot.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, like I said, I feel like it's going to be a lot. I mean, as far as the race starts, it'll probably definitely be the preferred line. Will probably be on the bottom a little bit early on, and then as kind of you see the runs progress and stuff, I definitely feel like you're going to see the lane kind of move up a little bit. And you'll see guys running like probably a half lane to 2 lanes above that bottom. So it'll be interesting to see how the race plays out though tonight. But definitely looking forward to keeping this Sylvega Chevrolet up front though tonight and try to keep it clean, keep it going in the right direction. And just a big shout out to all the sponsors who support us throughout the whole season. Sylvega, SimSpec PCs, all the guys on Duffy Elbow Motorsports team. They prepared a good car tonight, and let's go get them.
Sounds good, Spence. Thanks for your time, and best of luck here tonight.
Appreciate it, guys.
And that has been Spence Thompson starting off in second place. We're going to get one more interview in. It's going to actually be with a guy who we haven't really talked to at all yet this season, I don't think. It's going to be Brady Briggs, so I'll go ahead and bring him up. Give him a chance here. And Brady, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Brady, we haven't really talked to you much this season, if at all, and you'll be able to finally get one of these races off on the right foot starting tonight, albeit from the 28th position, but you're finally getting a chance to get back out here with these guys, and it's at one of the tracks that you can actually maybe sneak under the radar a little bit. Do you think you might be able to have what it takes to get a top 10?
Yeah, that's definitely the goal I set for myself here is to get a top 10. In practice I ran an 18.8, qualifying was 19.3, so I got 5/10 in this truck yet. So hopefully we can get up there and get in the mix.
Yeah, certainly. Again, this is one of the best places to do it, if not Daytona or Talladega, because you can just keep your truck in one piece and make it to the end. Certainly a pretty good chance. Obviously, you're starting in the back, might have a chance to see the wrecks before they happen and back out of it, keep that truck in one piece. And you also have a bunch of guys to work with over at the DLR and WFO stable. Tell us about working with them.
Yeah, I just got to thank David Levine for having me come on board here. It's awesome to be under him and all these WFO guys. Really nice to see these guys and out on the track following their lines and stuff and kind of figuring out where the brake points are, where to hit the gas. A couple laps on these tires, you're going to see these trucks get a little unstable. So should be a crazy race, and hopefully the fans like it.
Sounds good. Normally, fans do like short tracks. This is a pretty good chance, really, to show off some good racing. Real quick, before we let you go and let you get back in the truck to start this race, do you have any sponsors, anybody that you want to shout out?
Yeah, BA Graphics and David Levine Racing again for putting me in this truck. Also shout out to Bradley Wilson. He gave me my first chance in the developmental 18 truck. So thank you to all those guys.
Sounds good. Brady, thanks for your time. And yeah, we actually had, I believe, Deb Briggs. Not sure if that's mom or wife, but she was out in the chat asking for you. So it's good to talk to you. Best of luck tonight.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, well, as we get going, I think Brennan may have had to step away for a moment, so we'll go ahead and walk you through your grid. Starting off from the pole, we've already talked to the front row. It's going to be, that's the wrong couple of names. Sorry for that. We'll switch that in a second. PJ Popham starting from a first with an 18.687, followed by Spence Thompson to his outside with an 18.708. Couple of really good times there. And actually, I think that's the first sub 18.7 we've seen. And that comes out of Popham, so that's a really good lap, actually, from PJ Popham to get the pole. Moving on. In row number 2, we have Joe Burchett and Zachary Kreiser. In row number 3, Jared Mogard and Blake O'Connell, the newcomer, making his first start in the Truck Series. He's already got a win under his belt now in the Cup Series, in the NMNTS BA Graphics Cup Series on Tuesdays. He won at Texas last week, so it's cool to see him get his start in this series as well. Moving on, row number 4 gives us Bradley Wilson and Jackson Allen. And row number 5, to round out your top 10, Sawyer Ott and Ryan Daniels. We'll go through the next few rows and just cycle through them as these guys get ready to roll. Craig Lerman, 11th. Anthony Colantuono, 12th. Blake Falone, 13th. Jimmy McKee in 14th, another one of the new guys in the series. And he'll be starting behind another new guy, Colantuono. Row number 8 gives us Aiden Young and Clayton Kurtz, appropriately starting in the 16th position in the number 16. And from here on out, we'll just cycle through the field. Everybody will be in the show. So as we get ready to rumble here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, one of the, if not the most historic short track on the service. Probably not the most historic, but one of the most historic short tracks on iRacing. Really cool that we get to come here in the NMNTS and in more than just one series, too. That's really cool as well. But as we get ready to get rolling, we'll quickly go back up to our pole sitter, PJ Popham, and really, again, kind of surprising to me to see him so far up in the standings for the start of this race. But it'll be interesting to watch how he does. And Joe Burchett, I think, is one of the other guys that should be a one to watch here at the start of this short track race here tonight. He's fiery usually on these short tracks, and it's showing. He's starting third place. 83 will be one to watch. Zachary Kreiser as well. And as we get ready to roll, definitely want to know, if you're out in the chat, who you think will win tonight from the Myrtle Beach Speedway, the Battle at the Beach, for the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series. I think this is one of the biggest races of the year, honestly, and we're getting ready to kick it off. And we're going to kick it off Crank It Up style. You'll get to hear all the sights and sounds of the NMNTS. And as we get ready to roll, coming out of turns 3 and 4, they have to wait on the iRacing given green flag. PJ Popham waiting and waiting. Finally gets to go. The race is underway. PJ Popham, an early lead down into turn 1. welcome back here at Myrtle Beach. A few laps in, we've been watching the 11 here. He is having some issues. Blake Falone on edge right now. Currently running in the 13th position. Looks like he's going to lose that to McKee here in just a moment. But back up to the front. Popham's still your leader. Burchett through to second. Mogard through to third. Spence Thompson going in the wrong direction. He's currently in fourth, but here comes Burchett. He's looking for first. And he ran this race, or he ran the super late model race here last night, rather, the Super Series race, and I think that's really going to help him out, actually. He got a chance to
someone
get
in the wall. Turn 2. Looks like that's the 85. Zach Lindgren, yeah, it was.
Really?
Yeah, looks, he may have got a little help on that.
Well, we'll go back and view it. You can see him slow there, trying to get out of the way of some of these guys. Going to the back, Zach Lindgren with some early issues. Oh, it was out of turn 4. And it looks like he may have had a bit of a run-in with Blake Falone. We mentioned Blake was having some issues, really on edge, couldn't really hang on to the truck. Pretty much out of control. I think that's where that's going to start. Zach was racing with Kelsey Rogers and Ryan Daniels, and then as we view the replay here, yeah, something happens with McKee and Falone, and that just puts Zach in the wall hard. So now if we look forward to Jimmy McKee, I think this should be an interesting moment to take in. Something here is going to happen with Blake Falone. Blake? Actually, I don't know. That's tough. We'll get one more view of this. See who was at fault down into turn 3.
Oh, and 51, actually in the victory lane kind of there. He was stopped.
Alright, so right after this, then we'll check out Bradley Wilson having some issues.
And we might draw the caution here where he's parked. Yep,
and
and
there it is. You see there, McKee actually got into Falone, so now then we go over to Bradley Wilson. A big story here. This guy loves this place and really any short track, and some really bad luck so far already for the driver out of Oklahoma. Really unfortunate to see. Hopefully we're about to the right place to see what happens here with Bradley Wilson.
Yeah, lap 13 out of 4. It doesn't look like he got any damage actually, so that's good for him there.
We'll see what happens here. I can't exactly select the lap, but we'll at least try. It wasn't that time by. Let's see what I can work with here. We'll do that. Alrighty. That'll get us there. So watch Bradley Wilson here. The 51 between Zachary Kreiser and Jackson Allen had a great run going. And maybe just got loose out of 4. That's exactly what happens. The rear end comes around. He goes for a bit of a loop down, yeah, right into victory lane. That would have been a great parking job had he won the race, but unfortunately he had not won the race just yet. Got to wait almost 200 laps for that.
Like I said, the good news for him there, looks like he didn't get any damage, and you know, caution did come out, so that's a good time to get some tires and get right back at it.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down, but he's going to have a chance to really make a comeback. He's not tore up. The truck is still in great condition. I think he still has a chance to come back and do something with it. Just going to have to really fight here tonight. But as we look towards the rest of what's going on, PJ Popham is still your leader. And a lot of these trucks getting caught behind the pace car. That's really going to hurt a lot of these guys' nights if they keep having this issue. It's a very short track, and pit road takes a little while to get around, so you run into that issue where these guys might take a little too long in the pit lane and get caught a lap down. We'll see what race control does with that. By the iRacing standards, if you get caught behind the pace car, you're a lap down. But the race control may handle it a little bit differently. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, it looks like they got waved around just fine there.
Well, 10-4 on that as we get ready to go racing. Pace car light's still on, never mind. We'll look through some of the field real quick, get a chance to kind of go through the field for the first time. See Jackson Allen in 6th, Sawyer Ott in 7th. A couple of guys looking for big points nights right here. Sawyer Ott currently in the final hunt position. Needs a big night here to maybe get himself a cushion back to, I believe, let's see, who is 13th? We'll quickly check on this. 13th is actually Terry Mason. Only 3 points. So you can see the hunt cutoff line starts right after Sawyer Ott. And basically, again, the top 12 moves on to the hunt. Obviously, there's a couple of different situations where if you win and you're out of it, you can still get in. But this kind of gives you an idea of what would be going on. These two, Sawyer Ott, Terry Mason, are battling for that last position. So that's an important battle to keep an eye on. Lights come back out on the pace car. It looks like we're having a couple of issues here.
Yeah, the 818 I think had to let the field by there, so.
Yeah, I thought he got caught behind the leader, and that explains why he had to go to the back there. So we'll use this time to look through some more of the trucks out here tonight. You can see Craig Lerman in his famous Coca-Cola Chevrolet. David Levine paying tribute to Robert Yates and Dale Jarrett. Kelsey Rogers with a brand new look for a brand new ride. Brady Briggs showing off some muscle. He's up to 14th. Actually, I think 13th. Yeah, 13th position. Blake O'Connell paying tribute, I believe, to his mother. And as we get ready to get back racing here, Brendan, PJ Popham still our leader, getting ready to come back to it. And they're coming to you for the call on the restart.
Alright, a pace car obviously pulls in before we get all the way into turn 3, so he can go whenever he feels like now. Ready to go. And we're going to wait all the way to the green before he goes. Still gets a good jump, though. Really good jump for PJ Popham there. 3 Jordan Mogard to the inside now. Chopper Chet. They're going to get things worked out here. Mogard up to 2nd. Chet in 3rd. Spence Thompson. Now I'm going to try the inside of Perchet. Sit back a little bit. Perchet wants it back from Mogard there. Dove it around underneath him. Not going to make it work through 1 and 2. Vince looked on the outside a little bit there on Perchet. Nothing there though. He's a little bit too far back. Trying to work him down. Bit further back though. Zachary Kreischer, Jackson Allen, and Anthony Colantuono all going at it. Include the 49 of Sawyer Ott in that one too. Colantuono's going to catch the wall a little bit. They're still all squared away. Oh, loose for Sawyer or Zachary Kreischer there. He's going to lose a spot to Colantuono. Sawyer Ott was there on the outside. Falls back a little bit. Nothing there.
And now 3 Jaeger Racing teammates all under a blanket. You can see Zachary Kreiser in the 39. He's got blue, black, and white on the truck. Then Aiden Young in the 9, black, white, and orange truck. And then Sawyer Ott, the blue, gray, and white truck. So 3 teammates right there battling at a place like this can sometimes get chaotic, but they get through it just fine so far. Looking further back, if we can go through some of the field. Blake O'Connell into 12th. Kelsey Rogers ahead of him in 11th. Those are a couple of teammates. And David Levine looking pretty hungry right now in that 59, currently in the 13th position. Through the rest of the field, what are you seeing so far?
Christopher Matthews and the 11 of Blake Falone have a battle going on right now. That's just behind David Levine. Actually, as well as John Kennedy and Brady Briggs as well. So,
as we go on board here in just a moment with the 92 of Christopher Matthews, you can see the Pokemon truck to his inside. That's Blake Falone that he's battling with. And this really is a big gaggle of cars, and you see that here at Myrtle Beach. You see a lot of gaggles of cars throughout these races. It just happens. And you can see here from the blimp cam, it's a little bit low. The grandstand's kind of cut off a little bit of it, but I think it's still a really great angle, at least for the corners. You can see these guys really having to deal with the flat banking and just everybody on top of each other on these restarts. It's tough, but it's a lot of fun if you're in the driver's seat. John Kennedy looking to get underneath David Levine for a position. Jared Wishon already got by.
yeah, Levine still worked his way up pretty well from 14th from 26th. Well, looks like he may be going a little bit backwards here. John Kennedy giving him a good fight right now. On the inside, a little bit of contact.
Levine
Loose.
into the wall. Just overcorrected there and slid into the fence, but who was at fault there?
I need to get a second look on that one. In the moment, I couldn't really tell you there. Let's.
Kennedy definitely washed up, I think, into his left rear.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like to me. Yeah, David, was just hugging the middle lane, and John came up a little bit on him.
Levine is not one to take getting pushed around. We'll see how he reacts with that one, though, as he continues on battling with Zach Lindgren now. Further back, a man trying to make his comeback is going to be Bradley Wilson. See if we can find him. There he is. He is currently the second truck a lap down. He has to catch up to David Heise to get the lucky dog position, but Bradley Wilson settling in quite nicely. Did have that spin, but since then I think is starting to get that truck calmed down a little bit, get on underneath him, and really just do what he can do right now. He's got to obviously sit back a little bit, let things just cool down, and, you know, maybe even more so in his mind than anything, just get calm again and get back after it. He's one of the most capable drivers, I think, on these short tracks, so he's going to be one to watch as the laps wind down. Moving forward in this 200-lap event, PJ Popham's still your leader, and this battle up front is interesting. 3 trucks on top of each other. Jared Mogard looking for the lead. He's second place, but he also has to deal with Joe Perchette, and Joe Perchette is one of the another one of the really good short track racers here. He mostly makes himself known on these short tracks over anything else, and he looks to the bottom side there of Jared Mogard looking for second. Had the nose, couldn't do anything. That's the trouble with this play, is you can really defend pretty well from the top side. It may not be the best line, but you can at least restrict the abilities of the driver to your inside, Brennan.
Yeah, and before too long here, you can see just up ahead of them is some lap traffic now already. For PJ Popham in the top 3 here. So let's see. That'll be interesting how they navigate around that. Really one good line right now, so see how they give way.
Oh, the bumper almost given here for first. Jared Mogard almost got into the back of Popham. Now he looks low into 1. Looking for that spot, but Popham can hold him down out of 2. Can't really do it, but he's still going to get the run off the top side. He's going to hang on to the spot for now, but Mogard looking low again. Has a pretty good truck, it looks like.
Allowing Joe Perchette to catch right up with him as well, so he's getting ready to stick his nose into it.
Yeah, Perchette had almost faded for the last couple of laps, fell back a little bit, but here he comes back into this battle. Mogard looks low again, almost gives him a bit of a bumper to the left rear, and that would have sent Popham right around. That would not have been the ideal situation. So as these guys get back at it, you mentioned it, they're going to have lap traffic coming in soon, so Mogard is going to have to figure something out. He either has to make the pass now or wait until they get through these cars and just try and get through them as quickly as they can and wait for another opportunity, I guess. But it's going to be tough to find a window now that they get into the lap traffic.
Yeah. They're racing it out up there.
Yeah, I mean, windows are going to come pretty much never once you get into lap traffic. You see Blaine Falone restricting these guys a little bit. Blaine trying to just let these guys by, and a caution
yellow,
on the racetrack.
just ahead. Just ahead. The 83
Oh,
Perchette's
and
going to tag him.
Perchette's done. That was Ronald White. Perchette's truck is done.
Yeah. He saw immediately the motor gave.
So from Perchette's on board, we'll see what happens here. And just a truck stopped. He had nowhere to go. He didn't even see what was going on until it was too late. We'll get another onboard shot here from the driver of the 83. This is a good one, too. This is right on his shoulder rest. I guess his headrest to the right. This is a really good shot, I think, of what goes on. You see the slow truck ahead. He doesn't see it, though. He never sees it until it's way too late and just immediately done. So now you have to wonder what happened to Ronald White. Well, he just got loose out of turn 2, actually. We just saw it right there. We'll get one more look at it. He just gets loose out of 2. Looks like he was maybe fighting loose, even center of the corner, just got loose out of the corner and went right around into the wall head on and was just trying to get back rolling. Really, he was deposited in a bad position to begin with, was just trying to get back going when he got hit by Joe Perchette, and that, of course, drew the yellow flag. And Ronald White should continue on, albeit with a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Joe Perchette, unfortunately, just had nowhere to go. He's done, Brennan.
Yeah, definitely real tough break for him there. We saw PJ Popham, Mogard really battling out there. He really had a shot at, getting getting the lead there, and then just a tough break for him.
That is for sure. And quickly, as we are under caution, I want to mention a few guys staying out here under this yellow with just over 30 laps to go until the end of stage number 1. So we're quickly going to look for somebody to talk to. Let's see, who might we want to key up? I'll tell you what, let's key up our lucky dog. That's going to be David Heiza. So we'll quickly get him in just a moment. We'll try and make it quick. David Heiza, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, it looks like you're a lucky dog here under this caution, and this is a big break for you. How much is this going to help out? Obviously, it's going to help out a lot, but what was going on, and really, is this the biggest relief of your life at the moment?
I wasn't too worried about it right there. It's early in the race yet. There's time. But yeah, it's a relief to get back on the lead lap for sure.
Well, it looks like we're getting ready to go green here in a moment, so we'll make this quick. Anyone you got to shout out?
Shout out to my teammates and my parents.
Alrighty, sounds good. Best of luck on this restart, and we'll see what you can do.
Thanks.
And unfortunately had to cut that one quick. We're moving back down. Green flag comes back out. And Blake Falone off and away pretty quickly here. But David Levine to his outside has a great restart. Brennan, what are you seeing here?
Yeah. Good restart so far for the guys. Another one where they waited to the green. David's actually going to take the lead here. If he does have it. Blake fading back a little bit. Next one up will be Zach Lundgren to Blake. He's on the inside. Blake really high. We do have a yellow out.
And I hate to say it. Actually, no, I don't hate to say it. I was wrong. I thought maybe the guy who we were just talking to was involved, but I don't think so. No, this is going to start with Trevor Harmon. This is Trevor Harmon and more. Jimmy McKee involved, Gordon Larson Jr., Kenny Yance, all kinds of good trucks that were just waiting for their time. Got caught up in this one. Oh, man. A mess on the front stretch at Myrtle Beach, and I saw it seemed to have all started with the 27 getting turned around, so we'll see what happens here. Trevor Harmon, center of your screen, the blue, black, and gray truck. He was in a real interesting spot, had to go 3 wide in turns 3 and 4, and that's where it's going to come about. Kenny just washed right up into him. Just got a little bit tight.
I mean, at the same time, he's got to be able to take that corner kind of there, but yeah, he did get a little tight, and Trevor was racing him really kind of hard there, so that was a close one, but...
Well, Trevor got put in that position being 3 wide, and really, it was going to be hard for him to back out of it. So it was just a bad situation for everybody involved. I don't really think you can blame any one driver. Just a bad situation out of turn 4.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, this is definitely not a 3-wide track here, so...
No, it definitely isn't. You go 3 wide, and room's going to run out real quick, and just you can see what happens. The 77 went airborne, the 818, heavy damage. Gordon Larson Jr. as well. A mess on the front straightaway. It looks like Blake O'Connell was slow. I'm not sure.
He stopped to avoid the incident there.
Yeah, I just saw the pink truck stopping and then getting going. Yeah, he didn't have anything to do with it. All right, Blaine Falone did a great job of slowing down as well. David Heiza in that group of guys who did a great job of checking up. They all get through it. And back up to the front, David Levine takes one more caution on these tires, but you can't look too far back before getting to somebody who has good tires. That'll be PJ Popham in the number 1. A lot of these guys who had stayed out previously just bailed out on these front 2, but David Levine, Blake Falone, they're going to take their chances, restart one more time at the very least on these old tires. What do you think is going to happen here?
You know, it wasn't a really good test to him, but it looked pretty good. David really started to pull away there from Blake. Blake seemed like he was struggling a little bit, though. So we'll see what they can do with it.
for sure. And as these guys get ready to go back green, we should be getting the pace car light shut off there, and they do. So they'll double up and get ready to go back green. We'll check the chats real quick, see if anybody has any picks to win. And Deb out there picking Brady, of course, and it looks like she's his mama, so good to see him out here. Good to see her out here watching, I should say. And David Levine getting ready to go. I think he's got a pretty good chance of actually hanging on to this lead until the stage break, or at least to a good position at some stage points. He's going to wait, and gets off early, actually. He launched much earlier than the rest of these guys have been so far, and he gets the lead into 1, of course, and Mogard made a big move into 1 as well.
Yeah, it was really dicey. PJ already there, though. He's going to make the move this time by to the inside.
Levine working the top side.
89 is Spence Thompson around.
And so Levine hangs on to it for one more chance.
By
and
a
Spence
thread.
Thompson with heartbreak.
Didn't look too bad. Obviously, you don't want to get spun around, but don't think he got tagged really hard by anybody.
Jackson Allen just dove to the inside a little aggressively and got hit a little bit from Anthony Colantuono. Nothing too big there for either of those two. Colantuono gets away with it with just minor left front damage, and Spence with minor left rear damage. So a decent deal there. It goes back almost to the Cup race at Texas a week ago now, where Jackson Allen got turned around, and you know, you don't want to get spun, but in terms of getting spun, that wasn't too bad.
No. Honestly, from my perspective, it almost looked like netcode. I don't think Jackson actually hit him there.
Well, we'll
it was
get
close,
a better
but...
angle here. You know, I'm seeing that they pretty much made contact. There was a couple of inches in between, maybe, so it could go either way. You could be right, and I could be right. I really don't know. It's always tough to tell with those things because there's just that slight little bit of gray area where anything can go, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And of course, if you don't know what the net code that we talk about is on iRacing, basically, you know, iRacing being a simulator, it deals heavily with internet connections, and if there's one little impurity in the connection, it can basically mean anywhere from 1 inch to 3 feet that the sim registers a truck occupying or doesn't. So sometimes you can have cars going inside of each other, or what we most often see, trucks hitting each other according to iRacing's hitboxes, even though it doesn't, I guess, graphically appear that way. So you can have two vehicles making contact when they could visually be 5 feet apart. And it's just one of those things you have to work with a simulator. It's part of the game, really. Part of what you got to deal with. Whereas you have mechanical failures in real racing, generally you just have connection failures, or I guess technical failures here on iRacing.
And a really good example of that is we saw with the sprint cars at Lanier. I forget who it was, but he was maybe 10 feet off the inside wall, and iRacing detected that he hit the inside wall and bounced him off of it through the middle of the track.
Yeah, that is a really good example, actually. But real quick, before we go back green, I want to quickly talk about our race info, our race summary, and whatnot. We come into this race with a 68-degree temperature. Overcast, really cool here tonight in Myrtle Beach. Makes for a really grippy racetrack. I think it makes for a lot of good racing, actually. Really lets that top line come in. If you go to the race summary, you can see we've had 4 cautions so far for 21 caution laps, 2 lead changes, and the track is about a half mile. I know it still shows 1 mile. I'm not sure why. But that makes the race come out to just over 100 miles as we get ready to go back green. David Levine will be on board with him for this restart, Brendan. That just changed cars on me, but we'll see what he can do on this restart as we go on board with David Levine. Green flag in the air. He launches pretty early.
Good start for Falone as well there. He's going to be still to the inside of PJ Popham there. He's going to try and make the pass. Not quite able to make it work. Had to check up for Levine a little bit, it looked like. Mogard now around the outside of Falone. PJ right on the bumper of Levine. He's going to dive to the inside this time.
And he's making it work. Popham getting by Levine. Now here comes Mogard. We'll see if Levine can hang on to any of these positions. It's going to be tough.
Putting up a good fight with Popham right now, though. He can keep him busy. It'll probably keep Mogard at bay, though. Pass does get made there. Mogard to the inside line as well now. They're going to make a run, both of them. Both going to clear him out of turn 3. A little bit of contact.
Bumpers
59
and
in the
fenders
3.
shared right there. I don't know if you saw what I saw, but I think I might have seen Levine give the left front to the right rear almost of Mogard, and that was really close to being bad.
Falone and Jackson Allen going to battle it out now right behind them. Jackson's going to get by just fine. Jackson's going to work on the 59 of Levine now. Levine in the wall, actually. Let Allen by. Now Aiden's going to try.
Yeah, David's driving really hard right now. You can see that visually with the 59. He is doing everything he can to hang on to these positions. Looks like he gets a little bit of a hole there. We'll see what he can do to hang on to that position from Young. And Young looking low, has the nose. He has to back out of it, though. In center, and he gets loose. A great save, though.
49 around, and then Lerman and Buffalone right behind him. Buffalone tried on the outside, just nothing there, I think, for him with the old tires. Hanging right there with him. Aiden loose through the center of the corner again. Sawyer ahead of him, caught a little bit of the curbing.
An issue there for Falone. He was slow out of 2. Lerman gets by, but now he's high up on the track. Gets tight. Falone now battling the bottom side. Lerman barely squeaks behind. Kreiser now to the lead. You called it out. Mogard makes the pass for first, but Popham looking to double back on him. Can't make the crossover work. Has to sit back and wait for another opportunity. Here he comes on contact. Laid the bumper to him. Couldn't do anything with it.
Try it again. PJ carrying more speed through the center of the corner. Gets a decent drive off, a little bit loose actually. He's working the wheel as much as he can.
As we go on board with Popham, you can see what he's trying to do. He is really digging at that number 3 truck. He really wants that lead back. He's led 48 laps so far tonight, a race high, and possibly even a season high for him. A really good run at the start of this race. Looks like the one may be fading, though, as Mogard got by him there and is really digging at this point. The 3 is looking like one of the best trucks out here.
Go a little bit higher up there. That'll let PJ get some time through the corner, gets a better drive off, or the better drive off to Mogard. We do have a yellow.
So we'll check the yellow out. Looks like it may have been Aiden Young, actually, and it was. Aiden Young spun out of turn number 2. We'll see if he had help. And he did. Oh, he got a ton of help from David Levine. A ton of help from Levine.
Yeah, another one of those. Not really too much damage there. Fortunately, obviously, you don't want to get spun around. They've kind of been hitting on that really well, but another one. It's a pretty decent truck still for Aiden Young.
Yeah, no, he's going to continue on from that with nothing but a hot head. And Levine just got back to the gas earlier than Aiden did, and that's really what it boils down to. Is David just got back to the throttle a bit earlier. He was kind of entering high, then pulling the truck low and getting on the gas early. And, I mean, he had made his line for a while, but you have to consider when there's a truck in front of you, when you can actually get back at it. And he just got back at it a little too early, got into the back of Aiden Young, sent him around, and unfortunately that was the result. As it looks like Jimmy McKee was our lucky dog that time. I want to quickly check in on Bradley Wilson. He's back on the lead lap, so that's good news. Jared Mogard, though, with a great pass for the lead under that run. I have to wonder, though, how aggressive that means that PJ Popham might be to get that lead back. And now we even have to add in Jackson Allen. He'll be starting behind Jared Mogard off into turn 1. That could be an interesting battle. And real quickly, I just want to mention we might start getting a little bit framey. There's a lot of wind. Living in California and in the desert in particular, wind isn't a big deal normally to us, but when it's getting so bad that I'm starting to notice some choppiness for me as well, I do want to definitely call attention to it. So if we have to call it early, we'll let you know. And, of course, we'll work it out with the officials. But it's certainly looking like there could be a couple of issues on the way. It's looking pretty nasty up towards the Sierra Nevadas, but we'll see what we can do here to keep things under control. And I know we've been having a lot of issues lately. I really don't know what the cause has been. We were fine last night. We were fine for the start of this race, but we're starting to drop a few frames here and there. Again, I'm not sure how much it's going to affect the stream itself, but if it gets to where it's just too much, I won't put out a framey output. We'll go ahead and just call it for the night, and we'll make sure that whatever updates come out of the NMNTS get shared to the Pit Stop TV page as well, if we should have to call it there. That way you guys can still follow up on who wins. Anyways, up to the front, Jared Mogard will be restarting from the first position, and in the prime position to go ahead and get another stage win. This would be his 5th on the season, after winning 2 stages each in his 2 wins at Phoenix and Rockingham. Getting ready to get back at it is Jared Mogard. He leaves the restart zone early. Jackson Allen tried to get a good start, couldn't do so. He was on the bottom side, and that's a big hindrance when you're restarting here, but he gets a little high into 1 and 2. Hits Popham, saves it though.
49 Sawyer out, now going to try the outside of Allen. Just about able to make it work.
Yeah, they all keep it going. That was some good driving there to keep things from getting worse. Now Jackson digging the bottom side, trying to make it work. Further back, Zachary Kreiser into 6th, Blake Falone into 7th. But the cut line, I guess, for stage points is going to be with John Kennedy and Spence Thompson right now. Spence digging the bottom, Kennedy defending on the top side, and I think Kennedy might come out victorious. Oh, and Kelsey Rogers into the wall hard, and he's flipping. And that will end stage number 1 and the race to the 36. And more.
Oh, Unshakar stopped there still.
Brady Briggs, Blake O'Connell.
I don't think Blake got any damage there. Once again, just getting her stopped. Yeah, looks like it. Just getting her stopped down.
John Kennedy with a ton of damage. Really unfortunate, and that's going to end stage 1, as I mentioned. Kelsey Rogers with a huge wreck. Still stopped on the outside of the track.
96 Jared Vachon's going to get a lot of damage in that one as well.
One of the favorites as always with a ton of damage. That will be Jared Vachon. We'll quickly get a look at what happens here to Kelsey Rogers as he finally gets rolling again. Then we'll try and talk with our stage number 1 winner. So again, watch the 36 if I can get back on the screen. Sorry for that. We'll have to go back one more time. Keeps doing that. Alright, so now we finally have the 36 on screen. And, he had been having some issues earlier on trying to keep the truck under him. We'll see what happens here. I think he just gets the wall and spins. Yeah, he just hits the wall out of 4. Gets into Jared Vachon hard. Rogers goes flipping. Briggs gets in it. O'Connell just stomps, doesn't hit anything, so good call there, but what a mess. We're going to watch this from the onboard of Zach Lindgren real quick, since apparently ATVO wants me to spectate him. We'll go ahead and watch what happens ahead of him. Then we'll talk with our stage number 1 winner, so you can see the view out ahead of Zach as Rogers nails the fence, and Zach gets through this actually. He just gunned it up and turned left. That's one way to, I guess, get through a wreck. So we'll go ahead and speak with our stage 1 winner, Jared Mogard, if I can find him. He actually might not be in the TeamSpeak. I don't see him, do you?
I am not seeing him either.
Alrighty, then we're going to take one quick break. We'll be right back. And don't go anywhere. This is Pit Stop TV with coverage from Myrtle Beach.
On January 1st of this year, we made a major announcement when we added Porsche as our newest partner. But first car we added to the sim was the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, and at the same time we announced that we would be adding several more Porsches in the future. For the next Porsche, we wanted something special, something unique, something that hasn't been seen in a racing sim before, and something definitively Porsche. Today, that Porsche is here.
So here we are in northern New Hampshire where we found the perfect diesel Porsche. It's a model P133 and we're super excited to be able to scan it today. That should take us about 8 hours or so.
Apologies, we just missed the restart, but we're back. I had to step away for a quick moment, but Bradley Wilson battling with Jared Mogard. This is a good way to come back. 51 digging on the bottom side. Mogard looking to attack from the top.
He's going to get the move done around the outside there. Mogard back into the lead. Wilson back down to second now. The 16 of Clayton Kurtz actually behind Wilson. He's up to, I believe, that's the high spot for the night for him as well.
That it is. Clayton Kurtz, another big mover so far. Might lose third, but still a great run out of him so far. He's out of Illinois. Needs a good run like this. We'll see if he can hang on to it. Pop him, though, to the bottom side. He digs for third. He's going to get it. Now here comes Sawyer Ott, but we're going to watch Popham. He's digging possibly on Bradley Wilson for second in a moment. Now he's looking to the top side. Popham using the top lane to try and get second. Can't do it there. Now he's going to look low. He has the nose. He's making the move, and he's looking for second place.
Got tight there, washed up a little bit. He's going to fade back right behind him now. Caution's out, though.
Craig Lerman this time, it looks like, possibly involved. We'll go ahead and get a quick replay on this. And he actually gets hit from Brady Briggs. Just goes around, doesn't hit anything. Another one of those quick spins. Got a second look at it there. We'll try and make this pretty quick under this yellow. Got to thank everybody for tuning in so far. Again, sorry for some of the frame issues. We're trying to get it worked out, but again, some pretty big wind gusts going to take an effect there, make an impact on the stream, so have to apologize for that. But as we get ready to get back going, in stage number 2, Jared Mogard, your leader. Brendan, we didn't make pre-race picks, but who would you pick, I guess, to dethrone Mogard as one of the favorites, and you can't pick PJ Popham?
Okay. There's a couple good picks. You know, the guy in second place right now, Bradley Wilson, be a good pick. Another one I'd say that's, you know, in a really good spot right now, just needs to bounce back a little bit, would be Jackson Allen. He seems like he's had a truck good up front so far tonight as well.
You know, I'm going to have to go for a bit of an interesting pick. I feel like if we actually get a run in here and things can develop a little bit, we could see a first-time winner made of Sawyer Ott.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. He's been up front all night.
He's been quiet enough, and he has kept the truck in safe positions so far. That's what I like to see at a place like Myrtle Beach. You have to make, or I guess take chances, but you also have to keep that truck in a position to not get tore up, and that's one of the most important things that I've seen out of him so far. think we'll be doubling up for the restart this next time by. Let us know who your pick is to go ahead and maybe dethrone the 3 or the 1. Has a couple of favorites to win this race. Let's see, an update on Jared with Sean. We'll check on him real quick before we go back green. Jared with Sean. Ooh, where is he? We'll find him. He's still running, not too bad. He is in 26th. Has some work to do, obviously has some damage to overcome. Alrighty, and as we get back going, Jared Mogard, your leader, coming to the halfway point of this race. Bradley Wilson almost went a little bit high there. Waiting on the restart. There he goes. Mogard gets that thing fired off early. Pop him to the bottom side. He's going to be one to watch into 1. Now Sawyer Ott making a move. He might have moved too early.
It was close.
Let's
see what the official review is on that. But
that's definitely pushing the limits of the rule there. If you don't know, just like in NASCAR, you cannot make any lane changes before the line. We'll let the admins decide that one. We're just going to keep watching the live action. Sawyer Ott digging. He almost makes it 3 wide. Went a little too high on Bradley Wilson, and I think next time Brad might not give him that kind of room and just hit doors with him. Bradley, you know, he's going to race you hard, but he's going to race you clean.
Sawyer tight there, washing up a little bit. That's going to allow Wilson by. Jackson Allen now going to try around the outside. Good drive off for Sawyer Ott, though. Another good caution.
Caution in the back. It looks like it may have been... Oh, it was Kelsey Rogers, and I see Joseph Andujar involved. Another big mess. This time in turn number 2.
Kelsey Rogers didn't have anything to do with that one. That was way up ahead of him.
I just saw the speed being
yeah.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah, something with the Andujar looked like.
So we'll watch the 13 here and see what happens to Joseph Andujar. He's going
up ahead
through
of
some
him,
tough
actually.
times, and unfortunately,
85 is Zach Lindgren.
Blake Falone all but door slams the 85 of Zach Lindgren into turn 1. He keeps it going. It was further back where we had Joseph Andujar getting into trouble, and as I was trying to allude to, he's just trying to battle back after a couple of rough times, and it really sucks to see him. He was making gains at Rockingham. It sucks to see him kind of get caught up there. You know, if you're in the know, you're in the know, but this guy, he needs a good run. He was keeping the truck in one piece so far, and just unfortunately is a victim of circumstances, not even of his own doing, just got caught up in it. And, you know, hopefully we can talk to him at some point tonight if we get a caution where it doesn't take a couple of laps to view the replay. We'll try and talk with him and see how he's doing. But this guy, he's one of the most deserving guys out there of a good run at this point.
The Ford Jackson Allen, netcode, sorry. For me, it showed him running into 3 different people there.
He's not even being shown on my list of cars.
Yeah, he's down at 25th now. That connection drop then.
And I know he's a streamer, and I believe he's streaming this race as usual. And he's not alone. Bradley Wilson has started streaming as well, and I think that might have been part of the issue earlier on with Brad. Is this is actually a pretty highly graphics intensive track here on iRacing, and with 33 trucks, it makes it even worse. So I think that might be part of that. Possibly just a couple of issues there, maybe overheating a little bit. Not sure, but hopefully he can get back at it, not lose too much.
He did throughput there, so looks like he did reconnect. Yeah. Fortunately, I think the damage may be real for people like Brad Wilson and Sawyer Ott, though. Bradley Wilson's got a lot of rear end damage, unfortunately, from that.
You know what? It'll be interesting to see. It might actually calm the back end down. We saw him get loose earlier on. It could calm the back end down if it shoved that spoiler up any. because it could get some more air. Or it might have been so far up at this point. Oh, Mogard just fires off really early. I was not counting on that. Mogard fired off really early, and lane changes galore further back almost, as guys were just trying to fight for, the ability to stay in the throttle. An issue for Kurtz. He's done. He's done. He has no steering. He has no steering. He just popped the inside bumps there in turns 1 and 2. He might finally have steering back, but he did not have steering there for a moment. I could tell by the way the front wheels were kind of through the fenders a little bit. We'll see if we can get another angle on this. He just totally lost steering as soon as he hit those. Sorry, that was the wrong button. We'll see if we can look at it finally with Clayton Kurtz. Finally, there we go. This should show it. We talked about this a little bit last night, Brendan. You don't want to get down there and hit those because you see the result. He just barely got a couple, and it just completely killed steering as a whole on that truck.
Yeah, they remind me of the road course pit exit at Daytona, where you touch them at all and it severely damages the truck.
Yeah, if you head out there, and normally I think a prototype is what gets damaged the most if you head out there.
Oh, Blake flown around. Hits the inside wall.
More trucks involved. Is that Colantuono? That is Colantuono.
Yep.
And Briggs. So we'll see what happens. Briggs was actually exiting the pits, and Colantuono just... Actually, I think he got squeezed a little bit by Blake. I think Blake kind of squeezed him down.
Yeah, a little bit. I think to try and maybe help make the corner a little bit for Blake there. I don't think there's anything intentional there, but definitely did get squeezed down there a little bit.
Yeah, he was kind of diamonding the corner up in that top lane, but he definitely could have given some more room there. And then actually there was a secondary incident. And I think that might have happened with Andujar again. Yeah, Andujar didn't quite get checked up. He ended up nailing Christopher Matthews, and what a ride he just went through. Well, sorry for the camera switching. That is not my doing, but we'll see this right here. Christopher Matthews is going to go for a heck of a ride into turn 3, into the pit lane. As we get ready to roll once more, these guys actually, I don't think even came in right there. These guys are staying out, aren't they?
Yeah, it looked like a lot of the field was.
So that's interesting. You have a driver, okay. David Levine right now in 5th position has made 1 pit stop so far tonight. The guy behind him, Blake O'Connell, making his first start in the series, has made 9.
Granted, he has had some damage to fix and get stuff back underway for Blake.
And you know, that's a fair assessment there, but at the same time, it just shows that you can make as few or as many pit stops as you want and generally end up in one, some of the same positions right now. These guys will be restarting side by side, and they've made, well, I guess Blake, I should say, has made 8 more pit stops than David Levine. And so that's just kind of incredible that he can still position himself into the top 10 right now.
Yeah. I'm definitely kind of one for if people around you are going and you're a decent spot, in iRacing you have unlimited sets of tires. There is no tire limit, so I'd say take them. If everyone else is going with you, then I'd go with you. I don't.
Yeah.
Because then I know who I'm racing around and how far I can push them and stuff, than putting yourself up front and then risking it with the older tires.
No, for sure. If there's no posted tire limit like there is in the Super Series, go for it. Take as many tires as you want because it's just going to keep you on fresh tires, quite honestly, and that is only going to help you out as we get ready to restart once more. They're coming to you.
Pace car pulls in, waiting on Jared Mogard. He pulls away. Actually, wouldn't even call it quite to turn 4 yet there. Sawyer Ott with a good run there. He pushed up a little high again. I don't think they'll call anything there. Somebody getting ready to exit the pits right in front of him, though.
That's either calling 20 or with Sean exiting the pit lane, but he gets going. As the battle for second continues, and it is with Sean just ahead of these guys. He's going to be one to watch here. We'll focus on with Sean here as Mogart's probably going to catch him in a lap.
Already just about there. PJ Poppin does get by Sawyer Ott, no issues there, right behind him. Mogart has now caught right up to him.
And with Sean's going to give him the inside, obviously, and let off early and go really high through 1 and 2, giving way to these leaders. And we'll see how they work by him further on. Again, having some issues there. Apologize for that. Just having some issues out here in California with some wind, but we'll try and work through it as Rashawn's letting Popham by now. Popham actually couldn't quite get there. It looks like he might finally get there out of 2, and he does.
Really be interesting here is we got a bunch of guys back towards Zach Lindgren, David Levine, Spence Thompson, all really battling it out, and they're not too far away from LaShawn. Levine gets into the wall a little bit there. 3 wide now with Craig Lerman. Lerman going to try the inside of Blake O'Connell. Blake kind of kept him down there a little bit. He's going to get a better drive off, switch his lanes to the inside now.
He made a big move into 3, and Trevor Harmon also made a big move. So we're having a couple of issues here. If we have to, we'll go to a commercial break to get things worked out. Definitely having some problems here. I think we're back for the moment. But Blake O'Connell made a big move into 3. He's looking for the 8th spot if he can get by Levine. A really good run from him, but let's not shy away from the fact that there's guys behind him who are looking for some good runs as well. Ryan Daniels battling with Joseph Andujar. Joseph Andujar has made a great job of keeping with that 13, no matter how tore up it is. He's still in it. He's still fighting. A great job so far out of him.
Definitely, he's really bounced back really well where he was. David Levine loose down the front stretch. They're back together.
That gives Blake O'Connell the 8th position, but Levine's still fighting. He's loose. He's on really old tires at this point, so that's going to contribute to this. And he's still fighting that truck. We'll see what he can do out of 4. Almost gets some help from Craig Lerman, but he keeps going. Craig now looking low, if I can get the words out. Lerman shies away from the move there, but now he'll dig. Gordon Larson exiting the pits. Lerman can't get there. Now they're dealing with the lap truck of Washawn. David digs low. And he's actually almost washing up into Washawn. Man, that was close.
Yeah. Really good battle shaping up right behind and right in front of the lap car now between John Kennedy and Trevor Harmon. They're going to go 3 wide for a moment there. They're going to get everything sorted out just fine. Him and McKean now in the battle with John Kennedy.
And
caution out right in front of these guys.
Oh.
Actually, the 85, the 49 all involved. Ooh,
Zachary
the 61 Blake
Kreiser.
O'Connell. Big hit to the inside wall.
Oh, man. All sorts of stuff. We'll go back and see what happens.
Like, originally between the 49 and the 39.
Oh, Lerman just didn't check up. That was what happened to Blake Falone. Not Blake Falone, Blake O'Connell. But this is all, as you mentioned, going to start with Zach Lindgren.
No, the 39 and the 49, sorry. Zach Kreischer.
Okay, sorry, yeah. That's correct. Sorry, I might have just totally blanked on that one, but we'll watch these 2 teammates here. We were watching teammates before with Zach and Spence. Now a couple of teammates here with Zach and Sawyer. Zachary pulled a big move into 3. Sawyer just dug low, and then Zachary just got loose out of 4. And a big wreck down the front straightaway. I think Zach Lindgren is done. Sawyer Ott should continue. Man, what a mess this time. I think that was Rashawn involved as well.
Yeah, he did get it back down a little bit of contact, I believe, with Kreischer.
So we'll see what happens to him. Gonna try and get you a couple more angles. We'll go back to the 43 here in a second, because that's what I want to talk about here. These guys kind of were just really pressing their luck with some of these wrecks. I mean, 30 laps still until the end of this stage. And Rashawn had nowhere to go. He actually got hit from behind. Not too bad, though, actually, for the 96. And that's the wrong car. Thank you, ATVO. You can see here, and, you know, to Lerman's credit, he may not have seen the 39 to the outside and not knowing he had to check up. So, I mean, I won't rag on Lerman too much, but you definitely got to watch out for this kind of thing. A lot of these guys sometimes are pushing so hard to get spots that they push their luck a little bit with trying to get through these wrecks. And you see there, yeah, he might not have even seen Zachary Kreiser. So we'll give Lerman some credit that time. But, you know, it happens more than it really should on these short tracks. These guys just sometimes push their luck a little too much, and I think it's going to happen more and more throughout this race.
Fortunately, you know, kind of damaged cars don't really perform as well, and guys pushing for all they can, especially when it comes down to the end game of the race where you really need the positions at. People race each other a lot harder, and we might see some more incidents.
That is correct. And real quick, as we get ready to double up and go back at it, some new guys up in the front. Spence Thompson back to the outside of row number 1. But let's quickly look at the race summary. You can see some race info there. No wind here tonight in Myrtle Beach. Very nice race. 10 cautions so far for 49 caution laps, 7 lead changes. And as we get ready to go back green, Mogard has been launching pretty early, so we'll see when he launches this time by. Really early again, gets going. Spence didn't quite get a very good restart. He might have some damage. Some serious damage.
Yeah, he was involved in that last incident there. Did get tagged a little bit coming through. Levine's trying to find a way around him right now. A bunch of cars behind him as well. John Kennedy, Ada Jimmy McKee. Levine pushed up almost into Spence there coming off. Yeah, Spence is definitely under power.
Yeah, he maybe should have come in and at least checked on the damage before just staying out. But, you know, you got to, save track position here as Levine gets sideways out of 2. Got to save track position, so you can't really blame him for it. He's just trying to dig right. He's just trying to get spots right now. And overall, I think it might be a loss, of course, but it might also be a gain that he's not going to be as far back as he could have been when he pitted. Sorry for the caution flag thing still being up. That sometimes is having issues, and I keep trying to fix it. It doesn't quite work, but back up to the front. Jaron Mogard's still your leader. He has a pretty decent lead this time.
Definitely, and the one guy that really had a shot for him is caught in a big gaggle of trucks right now. It'd be the one of PJ Popham. He's really got nowhere to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And as these guys keep trying to roll, might get a green flag around here. That would definitely be a good thing, but I quickly want to call on Trevor Harmon, currently in the 3rd position, and he has been through everything, it seemed, but hasn't quite gotten junked just yet. And that's a good thing, because now he's in 3rd place, showing us what he can do. I like what we're seeing from Trevor Harmon.
So far, so good. He's trying to hang on to Aiden Young here. Kind of interesting to see how calm it is up front compared to, just about a couple seconds back from him.
And as we go back to that battle, we're actually going to go for a bit of a crank it up here and show you the sights and sounds of the NMNTS Racing Series. As we look at this huge gaggle of trucks that you mentioned, we're just going to let you listen.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Welcome back. You saw a couple of wrecks there. Well, actually saw one of them on screen. That was McKee, and that was after the caution actually came out. I believe Brennan was telling me it started with Spence, the one that caused the caution, and it certainly looks like it. He was smoking. No.
It was behind him.
Which number?
The 42, John Kennedy.
10-4. Go ahead and see what's up with Mr. Kennedy, and probably not the greatest of situations for him. Yeah, he saw him actually in the inside wall pretty hard. Try and get back to him. For some reason, ATVO keeps kicking me to random drivers when I rewind. Normally, Zach Lindgren, but we'll see what happens here with John Kennedy. They were all pretty much on top of each other even. John just gets loose out of 2, gets a little bit of a help from Sawyer Ott, but he was going to hit that inside wall either way. Then came the incident with David Levine. And the 59 now looking pretty tore up from the floor up. We'll get a good angle here into turns 3 and 4. This really took out some front runners, really. Jimmy McKee had gotten up there. He's going to have some damage. David Heiza as well, and even Spence Thompson.
Jimmy, luckily, since the caution did come out, got his position back there. Not going to send him back to the back of the field.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to
Heiza.
get wrecked, then to get sent to the rear when you wreck is even worse, but it normally happens. But this time it looks like McKee won't have to go to the back. We'll watch this happen one more time. Just unfortunate for McKee. As we get back rolling, Mogard's still your leader. We're going to see if we can contact a driver or two once we get back rolling. Under green, we'll see if we can talk to a driver or two before the stage ends. And it's getting... I have the window open here at home, and it's getting nastier and nastier outside. I'm one that loves storms, but this is, hey, starting to look a little bit rough. It's really not even a storm, just wind. But as we get ready to go back going, Jared Mogard, top dog, it seems like, all night long. He's going to be launching early, I'd presume, and he will do just that. Launches really early, going to catch most of the field off guard.
Big time loose though for him. He was struggling to hold on to it. That's going to let Aiden Young and I believe that's Trevor Harmon. That is Trevor Harmon. Kind of catch up to him a little bit.
Yeah,
Harmon
when you stay out on
inside.
tires, when you stay out on tires this long, that's what's going to happen. We see that happening with David Levine. He's only pitted one time so far, I think, at the stage break. Other than that, has stayed out. He's been getting loose. When you stay out this long, it's going to happen.
PJ Pop now back up towards the front. He's battling for third with Trevor Harmon. By him just fine. Got to work on Aiden Young there. He's right up on the bumper, dodge to the inside. Quite able to get it through 3 and 4. Try again 1 and 2. It's through just fine that time. Now he's going to set his sails for Jared Mogard.
And as he does that, we're going to see if we can talk with a driver that's in the garage area right now, waiting on that truck to get repaired. Zach Lindgren, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Zach, we saw the incident down the front straightaway, and coming in as the points leader, I know it's not what you want to happen, but I think the little bit of good news out of it is Zachary Kreiser was involved too, and he came in tonight just 6 points behind you. But what happened from your view?
They just stopped in the middle of the track. That's all I saw.
Understood.
They got into it coming out of 4, and I mean they're racing hard. I understand that, but they stopped in the middle of the track, and with Spence below me, I really had nowhere to go.
Understood. And obviously, your truck is done at least for a while, considering you're sitting in the pits and we're talking to you under green. Are you going to get back out there at all?
If the laps are clicking off like they are right now, we're not. We've still got about 25 minutes worth of repair, so I think our night's pretty much done.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Came into tonight at the top of the show kind of mentioning that you're one of the best even at these short tracks that you seem to not like. You end up just driving really well, but tonight it didn't quite go your way. This place is usually chaotic, and unfortunately it came to bite the number 85. What's this mean, though, moving forward to Gateway, I believe, next week, and the points battle?
I honestly don't know. Every time it seems like we get really good runs, it's been taken away from us from stupid things that happen out on the track. But I guess drive as good as we can next week at Gateway. There's really nothing else to it, I guess. We've ran good at Rockingham. We've ran good. We were running good here at Myrtle, and short track racing came to bite me. So I don't know. Hopefully Gateway's better, but we're just gonna have to find out.
Well, we've got caution on the track, so we got to cut it short. But thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that was Zach Lindgren, definitely upset at this point. Did you happen to catch where this caution was, though?
Definitely involving Joseph Andahar. It looks like Joseph Andahar and Ronald Wyatt, yeah.
So a couple of the good guys in the series and
29 29 tonight.
You see Ron White just washed up into Andy O'Hare. He overcorrected, caught Gordon Larson Jr. and Matthew Welzenbach. Welzenbach with a really hard hit, and he didn't even make some of these laps at the start of the race. He came in early, and then, man, they almost got the leaders.
Yeah, PJ Popham had to dive out of the way of the 13. He was still moving as they came through.
And this should just about bring us to about a one-lap shootout for the stage, but this is going to be something. With the way some of these guys have been after positions tonight, this might be one of the most exciting restarts of the night, if not the most exciting restart of the night. I mean, quite frankly, these guys have been battling hectically down into turn number 1 each time, and, well, it's you know, points are now on the line for this restart. We're coming to the end of stage number 2. If we get the 1 to green signal here, we will have a restart, I do believe, with 2 to go if we were to get it. No, 1 to go in the stage. If we were to get it here, we don't. So this may actually include the stage. I'll see if I can contact Ken. See some trucks exiting the pits. We'll see what happens to them if they get caught a lap down or not. We'll go to the wide shot here of Myrtle Beach and then zoom in a little bit for you. Give you a nice scenic view of the area. Granted, it's night, so you just get the track, but still a nice little view of the track here. And I think they'll be doubling up this time by. So that should be the end of the stage, because they're coming to the end of 160 here. Well, as they get ready to restart, we'll wait on an official call. Jared Mogard, your leader. Not sure if he won stage number 2 or not. And they're giving them 1 lap to battle this out. Jared Mogard first to the line, of course, as he is your leader. Gets to jump way before everyone else. So this is a 1-lap shootout to the end of the stage. These guys wanted to give him a chance to battle it out. I like that call. Aiden Young possibly looking for second. Too far back to make it happen. Sawyer Ott looking to the inside of Harmon. Can't really get to him. Actually, he might get him by the line. No, Harmon's going to have it. That should be the caution, and it is. So we're going to show you your top 10 from stage number 2. Brendan, can you give us a rundown?
Yeah, Jared Mogard, stage number 2 winner. AJ Popman picked up second. Third going to Aiden Young. Fourth will be Trevor Harmon. Fifth going to Sawyer Ott. Sixth will be Craig Lerman. Seventh going to David Levine. Eighth to David Heiza. And ninth we have Zachary Kreischer. And rounding out the top 10 we have Blake O'Connell.
And we'll flip through some of the rest of the running order here. You can see some drivers as we come down the pit lane. You can see some of the rest of the field. Joe Burchett with heartbreak earlier on. Unfortunately, he's last place, 33rd of 33. Jared Mogard leads us down the pit lane, though. Aiden Young one of the first into his box. He's actually pitting early on the pit lane. Blaine Falone stayed out at least for a lap to get a lap led. I like that move to get a bonus point. John Kennedy also stays out at least for a moment. PJ Popham currently shown the next car back from him, so we'll wait to see the battle out of the pit lane. It's going to be Mogard by a pretty decent long shot there. Then Popham to follow him up. Aiden Young, Christopher Matthews comes around to get into this mess as well, but he's going to have to let most of these guys back, I believe. I think he was our lucky dog. So Blaine Falone, currently the leader from Myrtle Beach. We'll see what he does here. It would certainly be interesting to see him stay out. That would be a heck of a move. I wouldn't really be able to argue against it this late in the race. You need track position, right?
Yeah. See what he can do with it. Obviously some stiff competition. The next couple of guys right behind him.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a great restart to watch because I think Blaine might stay out here. And we don't see much of Blaine Falone, but it's good to see that Wawa Chevrolet up front right now, albeit by virtue of the yellow. We'll see if he can roll in the lead for a few laps. He's definitely getting some bonus points, and that's going to matter a ton as these guys work by some of the lapped trucks. As most of the lap trucks will get shuffled onto the back of the field. We will see Jackson Allen get a wave around. That's why you see the 4 truck in front of the 21, but the 21 is going to be the guy we're focusing on for this restart. Blaine Falone started 29th. I'm not sure if he even has a charter or not, and this guy just has had bad luck all season long so far. We're only, I think, 7 or 8 races in, but just has not been what he has wanted thus far. We'll see if he can make this go his way on this restart, though.
Obviously. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Obviously, with the lead, that gives him a great opportunity to try and get a really good jump. See how long he can survive. Because definitely has some, like I mentioned, some stuff. Some tough competition right behind him. Jared Mogard, PJ Popham. They get ready to go here. Pace car is in. Waiting on the signal from the 21. He's going to wait almost all the way up to the green. A decent restart for him. Mogard kind of stayed with him. PJ Popham getting a really good drive off, though. Mogard around to the outside. PJ Popham really close. He's going to actually wash up into the 9 there. They're going to get sorted out. Alone contact with the 27. He's dropping like a rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, some short-sighted moves, but I mean, they got to get by him. This is crunch time. They can't wait too long or they're going to lose valuable positions. Falone almost gets into Daniels, but they keep it going. Now O'Connell trying to get by. We're going to stick with this for a minute because this could be even more treacherous, but he is towards the end of these guys. Still, cool to see him get some laps led again. Sorry for the caution flag thing staying on. We'll try and work with that throughout the week. And back up to the front, it'll be Mogard with the lead, and he has a pretty sound lead as well. He's got a decent gap back to Popham, then another decent gap back to Young. I don't know how you can argue against this guy. He's got 91 laps led, and this is the first time we've seen him dominate like this without starting on pole.
And Popham with some connection issues now. We may lose him.
Hopefully not. Those two have been the guys to watch all night long, and kind of out of nowhere. I guess you could say almost expected Mogard after winning at a couple of the short tracks we've already had thus far, but still just really interesting to see him doing so well. Almost like one of the guys to beat possibly for the championship hopes. That would be something, considering he didn't even make the first couple of races of the season, didn't have a charter, couldn't get in, and now he's just turning up the heat, winning races. This could be his third win, his second one back-to-back if he gets this one. Aiden Young, though, if maybe we get a late race restart that, you know, Aiden gets a chance to unseat the 3, we could maybe see Aiden Young go to victory lane. He's been good tonight. He's normally good on the short tracks. He's in 3rd. Trevor Harmon 4th. Sawyer Ott 5th. David Levine still battling through the damage. He's in 6th.
Definitely. You know, Mogard's really bounced back from a kind of dismal start to the season, not being able to make some races. And now I do believe he did secure a charter, I believe. You may have to correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
I'm of the same assumption there that he now has a charter. At least I hope he does, because he at least deserves one at this point. Do quickly want to look through some of the field for the last time tonight. Ryan Daniels currently running in 12th, just ahead of him. Bradley Wilson battling back. He's in 11th, looking for 10th if he can get by David Heiza. Robbie Buckner in 9th place. This guy has just somehow kept that truck in one piece, has not even hit the wall, it looks like. Robbie Buckner with a great run. What about this guy?
Knock on some wood for him. That was his mission from the get-go in the text chat before the race. That I plan on hitting nobody.
Oh, Levine around.
Not quite getting it into the wall. Still gets gonna lose a lot of positions here, though.
He's gonna fall way back, and he did, I think, get some tires recently. He almost gets into the Colantuono. He's having a lot of issues. David Levine having problems. He's falling back like a rock into 13th. Might lose 13th here in a moment. Blake O'Connell, actually, the driver ahead of him for position. Blake having a good run. He was doing a lot better.
Ooh, Colantuono in the wall. He's going to go around.
And
42 John Kennedy.
Caution is out.
We'll, of course, get a replay here, and then I want to see if we can talk with the driver or two. But
ooh, Colantuono almost backed right into Jared Mogard there. That was really close.
You saw the incident there, just got tight. Then we'll watch this replay for what happens with Colantuono and the leader of Mogard as they try to get back going. It took them a while to get going, and oh yeah, that could have been really, really bad. Since we have the time, though, I want to quickly get a driver interview in. Let's see who we've got. I know, eating up time here, but I want to get somebody we haven't talked to. What do you say we dial up Trevor Harmon?
Sounds good.
Trevor Harmon, do you have a copy?
10-4, sir, I got you.
Well, Trevor, right now you're in the 4th position. A really good run from you tonight. Tell us about that run in the 27.
It hasn't been easy. We fought through some adversity beginning of the run, had some frame drops. That's why we entered the pits under that first lap and just kind of stayed out of trouble for the most part. And here we are, trying to keep her clean and get to the front.
And you've done just that. You've gone through some troubles tonight, but kept the truck in really good condition. Do you think you have something to maybe get a top 3 here tonight?
I'm hoping so. I got to hit my marks. I know there's times where Aiden kind of pulls away, but if I hit my marks just right, I reel him back in. So I just got to hit my marks and focus on the track and not the car in front of me.
Sounds good. I think we're getting ready to restart. No, I think we have more laps. So, Brennan, do you have anything for the driver out of Fort Mojave, Arizona?
Not really too much, but really good bounce back from me, though. Up to 4th, and really seems like he has something up there for maybe squeezing a top 3 out of it. Hopefully we can see that from you tonight. That'd be cool to see.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, Trevor, as we get ready to restart here in about a lap's time, best of luck to you. Laps are winding down. We'll see what you can do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And that was Trevor Harmon in the 27. Don't want to eat up too much of his time. We've gone into almost the restart for some of these guys, so we want to be careful not to take him into the restart here. It's so hard to get a legitimate interview in at a short track like this, but we do our best. We certainly at least try. And as we get ready to restart here, he'll be restarting from the 4th position. A lot of new names up in the front. You see Zachary Kreiser. He's been fast, but he fell back, and now Craig Lerman's up in there. Robbie Buckner even as we get ready to get back going. Oh, Mogard launches really early, but can't totally stand on it.
Yeah, he's having the same issue being a little loose.
Sawyer Ott might get called there. Almost gets hit from behind by Lerman. Sawyer was close on the lane change again, and you have to watch out for that. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Caution out in the back. And it looks like this one will be David Heisen, 7-11. Was doing really well. We talked to him a little while ago, and unfortunately going to go around, it looks like. Actually, he had help from Ryan Daniels.
Yeah.
Just got him turned right around. We'll see if we can go on board with the driver of the 71 here in a moment. We'll see exactly what Ryan saw here. At least what his roof saw. And yeah, just throttled up early, got into him. Tried to keep from hitting him again. Tried to let him straighten it out, but just, so little room in a place like this. Had to get back going. Really unfortunate to see, but it definitely wasn't intentional. Just a matter of circumstances there. Well, what do you say we dial one more driver up? We'll look a little further back in the field. Quite honestly, I think Bradley Wilson might be a good choice with the up and down night he's had. Actually, no. We're going to go with Robbie Buckner. That guy is having a great run so far. I want to talk to him and get his opinion on this so far. If we have a chance, we'll still... Oh, I can't move him in. That's right. That's right. All right, so we will get Bradley then. I want to still talk to Robbie at some point. We'll talk to Brad first. Bradley Wilson, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Brad, I was going to talk to Robbie first since he's having that great run in a totally straight truck, but you've had a tumultuous night. Tell us all about it.
Oh, well, we just got behind the 8-ball, spun there early, got a little loose, and wasn't expecting it. Kind of snapped around on us there, went through the grass, we didn't touch anything, and come back out. And we've pretty much just kind of been playing defense a little. Had to play defense, and not something I really wanted to do here, to try to keep this thing in one piece and just have some kind of shot at a top 5, hopefully here at the end.
We certainly have a chance at least at the top 10 and probably better. You're restarting 9th when we get back going. We saw you get loose out of turn 4. Is that truck calmed down? Did the track change to help you out?
Well, I think we knocked the toe out of the right front when we picked up that damage. And it's definitely been driving a little different. But yeah, it's not really at the point where I can get back to the throttle like I want to and get the drive off. So we've kind of been fighting a loose condition on that.
Well, hey, I'd say loose is probably better at this point than having the issues you had pre-race. It's good you got that straightened out, and you're back out there 9th, right behind your teammate for 8th. You guys are having a great run out there, keeping the trucks in good condition amid some issues for Spence and Zach. Do you have any sponsors you want to shout out, though? Any teammates?
Oh, yeah, definitely want to thank everybody at WFO, Wolcan, Hancock's, SimSpec PC, and Discount Shop Towns.
Sounds good. And move back down for the restart. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, bud.
And that was Bradley Wilson as we get ready to go back green. Mogard fires off early, and we'll wait on him here. He gets going real early, but not quite as early. Keeps it under control that time. A better restart out of him, I think. Granted, these guys are keeping with him a bit better.
Yeah, Aiden Young now actually try PJ Popham. Not quite able to make it work.
Further on back, some big battles. Zachary Kreiser battling with Craig Lerman, almost making contact. Now Lerman almost on the fence right in front of Bradley Wilson, who we were just speaking with. Blake O'Connell now looking to the inside of Robbie Buckner. Robbie Buckner, hangs on to that spot. And I'm not sure where this one was.
But through the field here. Oh, the 4 Jackson Allen.
All right, so we'll focus on the 4 car here. 4 truck, rather. Big move there from McKee to get into the 21 of Blaine Falone. And then Jackson was on their outside, and McKee just gets right into Jackson. Sends him right around. Colin Tuono with a great job of locking it down, though.
Kind of the same boat. McKee was kind of in the middle lane, didn't really come down anything. It was Jackson was trying to arc it in maybe a little more. But.
Yeah, it's just a really unfortunate situation. They just kind of got together. McKee was about half a lane up just from the deal that he was battling with there with the 21. Couldn't really do a whole lot about it, and that's the result. And now, I mean, this is probably the last restart of the night that we'll get. 7 to go this time. This ends up being caution 16. And this should be the last time that we get a green flag. Now, this one will either carry out, or we'll get another yellow before we can get to the finish, and then that will, of course, end the race. Hopefully they go green. Make your bets now on what happens if you're out in the chat, be it on YouTube or Facebook. We've got 7 watching on YouTube. It's actually a good night for YouTube. Good to have y'all there. We'll check Facebook real quick. Haven't been over there in a little while. So we'll check it out here in a moment. A decent night over on Facebook as well. Got 14 of you guys. And yeah, Donnie, PJ has been a wheelman tonight. Mogard as well. These guys are really surprising at this point in the season to just come out here and dominate these races. Really cool to see a changing of the guard. Not quite the same changing of the guard as you get in NASCAR, though, Brennan. These guys are just, you know, experienced drivers from elsewhere that are coming in and lending their talents.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of guys, you know, come in and do really well here, and definitely think they have a really good home here in the NMNTS. There, a lot of newer guys putting on really good shows.
That is for sure, and apologies again for the frame rate issues. Thankfully, we're down to, 4 to go, and now 1 to green. So just 3 laps once we get back racing. We're at the end of it. We got through it, thankfully. Hopefully, it won't happen tomorrow night. We shouldn't have the same wind issues that we had tonight, so it should work itself out. But this will be an interesting little restart here. This is the money restart for these guys. They've got to do everything they can to get positions, but they can't be too aggressive about it. As we get ready to restart for the final time tonight, Mogard launches really early, trying to seal the deal for his win, but that could cause issues. Oh! Sawyer right into Trevor Harmon. The race is over. And that's just a bit of a short side out of the 49. I have to say it. A bit of short sight there.
Yeah.
You have to know when you're coming around a bend, you can't just leave the throttle pinned to the floor. And Harmon just goes right around.
Tough break for him, man.
And you know, obviously we don't want to rag on one driver terribly hard. We don't want to be those kind of guys up here in the booth, but you know, this is a 200 lap race. You're restarting on lap 198, and you've been pushing up on every restart so far when you just leave the throttle pinned. It's the end of the race. You have to know what to do and what not to do at this point. And unfortunately, this will end the race under caution. White flag is out. Mogard will be your winner tonight from Myrtle Beach, pending, of course, results, or I guess any penalties. We shouldn't get any penalties up in the front, of course, but pending penalties for these guys. Unofficial results, technically, and Mogard leads the most laps, 121 as we come around to complete lap 200. Jared Mogard, your back-to-back winner from Myrtle Beach. He won last week at Rockingham, wins again tonight. PJ Popham comes home third, and Aiden Young in second. What a race, Brendan. Had its ups and downs, but was a thriller the whole way through.
Yeah, PJ Popham scored second and Aiden Young scored third.
Did I say that backwards?
I think he may have.
Well, if so, that's my apologies. I definitely, in my mind, had it the right way, but we'll see. I thought we were going to get some fireworks. That's why I brought the wide angle up, but nonetheless, Mogard burning it down here in Myrtle Beach, and a big win for him. This should put him atop the point standings, or at least close. He came in third, and we'll quickly pull that up. This should pretty much put him at least close to Zachary Kreiser in the 39, if not ahead of him. It was a 32-point deficit, and given the stage points, given the advantage in points, he'll at least be very, very close. And we'll see what happens there in the point standings when we come back next week from Gateway. But let's go through the results real quick. Jared Mogard, your race winner with 121 laps led. Again, a stellar performance out of him. PJ Popham in second place, 48 laps led. Aiden Young, Sawyer Ott, Zachary Kreiser, the Jaeger Racing teammates, the trio right there come home third, fourth, and fifth. What about the rest of the top 10?
Yeah, coming home sixth tonight will be Craig Lerman. Following him, a great run for Robbie Buckner coming up seventh. Eighth is going to Bradley Wilson. Ninth to Blake O'Connell. And rounding out the top 10, David Levine, able to hold on.
And in 11th, we get John Kennedy. He battled back through some adversity to finish in that spot. David Heiza battles back to 12th. Christopher Matthews hangs on to 13th. Ryan Daniels with another pretty strong run, actually. Pretty decent run there for the 71 in 14th. Jimmy McKee follows up last week's run with the 15th position.
And picking up 16th tonight will be Blaine Falone. Obviously, we saw him up to first at one point in time, not able to hold on to it. He comes on 16th. Unfortunately, the last guy on the lead lap, as we saw in the last incident, is going to be Trevor Harmon, 17th. Next guy in 18th is Anthony Colantuono. He ended up 2 laps down. 19th going to Jackson Allen. We saw him have some connection issues earlier. He ended up 7 laps down. And 20th going to Kelsey Rogers. A really rough night as a whole for him.
And just outside the top 20, Ronald White with a rough finish tonight here from Myrtle Beach. Finishes 21st, 10 laps behind the leader, sorry. Joseph Vanderhaar, another rough night, finishes 22nd, just ahead of Spence Thompson by a couple of laps, who finishes 23rd. Blake Falone, 24th. Jared Wishon, 25th. That rounds out your top 25. Wishon ended up being 70 laps behind the leader.
Picking up 26th tonight. Tough break for Zach Lindgren. He ended up, unfortunately, Gordon Larson picked up 27th. 28th went to Clayton Kurtz. 29th going to Brady Briggs. Rough night for him as well. Matthew Wilsenbach picked up 30th. And 31st going to Derek Robinson. 32nd to Kenny Yance. Joe Burchett coming on 33rd tonight from 3rd place.
And he ends the race 158 laps behind the race winner. And the race winner was Jared Mogard. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break, then get some interviews in line. Stick right here with us at Pit Stop TV. Alrighty, welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Speedway. That was a quick break there. We're going to get these interviews right out of the way for you. Aiden Young going to be first up. He finished third. Aiden Young, do you have a copy?
I got you.
Well, Aiden, a great run from you and your number 9 team. You come home third place. How big of a confidence boost is this as you try and fight your way up in the point standings?
It's really big. We're getting closer. We're just got to find a little more speed and keep up with Jared, and hopefully you'll see this 9 in victory lane once here this season.
Yeah, and you mentioned trying to keep up with Jared. Coming into 2018, we all thought that if you wanted to win in 2018, you had to chase down Mike Bruno or Tyler Justice. That's changed, obviously. Does that now make Jared Mogard possibly the guy to beat week in, week out?
Yeah, I think it does, but I got a bunch of fast teammates that I'm working with too, so it all depends on the track too. Some people are fast on short tracks, some are fast on mile and a halves.
And it certainly seems like so far anything a mile or under, Jared Mogard is right there ready to win the race. This is his third win on a track a mile or under, and I believe we've only had 3 races that have been run to completion that were on a track a mile or a mile under. So as we go to Gateway next week, almost a similar track, but not quite. It's a little bit longer. We'll see how you guys do. And I know you actually were really strong there in the off-season. Tell us about your hopes going into Gateway.
Well, I'm just hoping to finish the race, basically. If we come out on top or get a top 3, that's an accomplishment for me.
Well, sounds good. Real quick, from a driver's standpoint, we had a lot of cautions. I think we ended up with 17 for, I want to say, about 88 laps of yellow. From a driver's standpoint, is that a big deal, or do you just walk away and move on?
I think it's not really much of a big deal. It's just move on, go to the next track, and hope that we don't have so many cautions. But it all plays out by time. It's all on the drivers.
Well, 10-4 on that, man. A great run from you. You finished third. Anyone that you want to shout out?
Young Gun Creations, Matt Walzenbach, Zachary Kreiser, Sawyer, Ryan Daniels for running my paint schemes. You guys for broadcasting this whole league. Just good to race.
Alrighty, sounds good. Move you back down to the booth, or the interview waiting room, and hopefully we're talking to you next week.
For sure.
And that was Aiden Young, your third place finisher. Brennan, how about you dial up our second place finisher tonight?
Alrighty. Back up here. Alrighty, PJ, you got a copy with us?
10-4.
Well, bud, we had a really good truck for the first half of it, and then it seems like he kind of faded a little bit away, and Jared Mogard maybe figured something out, and he started to storm away from you there. Like maybe could have had a shot at running him down, but second place tonight, though. I'm sure we're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, the number 1 Coca-Cola Old School Motorsports HRL machine was fast tonight. We pitted in that second segment there and got dropped back to about 9th, and then just used the tires up trying to get back up to save some track position before the final stage, and was trying a couple different lines there through 1 and 2, seeing if I could get a run on Mogard there at the end, and I was figuring something out, and the cautions just kept stacking up there, and I just didn't have enough time to do anything. So 3 car was fast though tonight. I got to give it hats off to those guys. They ran a great race. They're definitely the fast truck in the field. So
yeah, definitely. I get mentioned a little bit. It seemed like at the beginning you really had something that it kind of just fade away for you, or did Jared really start to figure something out? Is that how he got around to you?
Yeah, I think Jared started to figure it out. Got ahead of us there right at the end of segment 1. And then I got back in front of him on the pit stop, and then got caught up behind the 8 truck. He spun his tires on the restart there. Mogard got back around us, and I just could never get back in front of him. I really think we had something figured out there for the end of the race if we could have went green. But it probably would have involved, putting a bumper to someone. But, short tracks and short tempers, a lot of yellows. It's the way it goes, man. I'm just happy to be home in second place tonight.
It definitely. Second place is definitely not bad at all. Not quite first place, but I'm sure, as you mentioned, pretty happy with that. Overall, the race as a whole, though, I think everyone really kind of in the same boat, wishing for some more green flag racing there, but that's kind of the nature of the game for Myrtle Beach, unfortunately. Outlook for next week, though, we have Gateway coming up. Track, do you expect to do well there?
Yeah, I like Gateway a lot. It's another heavy braking track, so pretty sure Mogard's gonna be another truck to contend with out there, as well as a lot of these other guys. So we'll just go give it our best shot. Hope the truck's fast and bring home another top 5.
It definitely will. I wish you the best of luck and congrats again on second place tonight.
Hey, thanks, Brendan.
Have a good one.
You too.
And moving up to our race winner, it's going to be Jared Mogard. Let's see if we can dial him up real quick. Jared, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, boys.
Well, Jared, we couldn't talk to you for the wins of stages 1 and 2, but now you have 6 stage wins under your belt, 3 race wins. How does it feel to possibly be the top dog the rest of the season?
Feels good. Just gotta keep it rolling. I mean, we talk about it every time we have these conversations. We're not locked in. We're not guaranteed a spot. So still got to make these shows. We've been fortunate enough to make them, and the results have been pretty good. So we're rolling right now. That's for sure.
And that's actually a good thing you bring up there, because Brenner and I were under the impression that maybe you'd gotten one by now, but unfortunately it seems like you haven't. You certainly have the speed to be warranted a charter, but you do have to go ahead and make the arrangements there with the officials. But what a run it's been lately. Back-to-back wins. The first time we've seen that so far this season in this series. Going into Gateway, PJ actually just mentioned it, another heavy braking track, possibly another playground for you and the number 3 team. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I thought it was 3 in a row that PJ got in there, and but yeah, 2 in a row is awesome. Yeah, Gateway's kind of like this track. It's a heavy braking and very you got to hit your marks, and if you miss your marks just a little bit, you're 2, 3, 4 tenths off. So you really have to be consistent and smart and hit your marks. So I'd be willing to bet it's going to be me the number 1 up front again next week. There's a couple other guys too that are really fast. They haven't had the luck. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're definitely confident, and with good reason to be confident for sure.
Well, sounds good. And as you mentioned, you think you might be racing with the number 1 a lot next week. We'll see what happens. Certainly is not a bad prediction. Who do you have to shout out for helping out the number 3 team?
I just got to thank Nick Kaufman with Kaufman Racing Graphics and Twitchy Race Reports for coming on board of this car, or on this truck, and then riding this out with us. This is pretty cool, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty fun year. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that puts this league on, all the sponsors and everybody, and you guys for the broadcast, and all the fans for tuning in.
Alrighty, sounds good. We'll be talking to you hopefully next week some more. Best of luck at Gateway.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'll try and remember to get in here so we can chat if we happen to get lucky enough to win a stage.
Alright, sounds good, man.
Later, boys.
And that was your race winner, Jared Mogard. What a run for him tonight. 121 laps led. And we're used to that when he starts on the pole, I think, at this point. But he didn't start on the pole. He started 5th, had to work his way through the field a little bit, and then was just off and away, off to the races, and just... It's so surprising to me at this point to have 3 wins for one driver when I don't think we've seen that at all for anyone else in this series. That is impressive. Actually, we do have one other multiple race winner. That's Mark Broderick. We didn't see him here tonight, though, so that's really interesting. But Brendan, any final thoughts?
Overall, I think everybody tonight really could have wished for maybe a few less cautions, but as a whole, we saw some really good racing up front, as to be expected out of the league, and outlook for next week I think is pretty promising, and hopefully we catch a really good race from there.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned there, this league always puts on magnificent racing, no matter what the track is, it seems like, and no matter what the conditions are, no matter what the obstacles that have to be overcome are, there's always some sort of good racing on the track, and that's what I like most about this season, is everything is really close, everything is really exciting, and hopefully it holds that way for weeks and weeks to come, if not for the whole season. It's going to be a very exciting show, I think. We've got new guys coming in, flexing their muscle, old guys finally turning up the heat, seeing what they can do, and it has been a wild ride these last couple of weeks. But as we look forward to Gateway, I do have to mention we'll be back live tomorrow from Pit Stop TV with the NMNTS Racing Series, but it will be the Cup Cars from Bristol. That should be an interesting one. It's going to be a tough one. Should be a lot of fun to watch, though. Hopefully you tune in. And this has been Pit Stop TV. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Hopefully, again, you're back tomorrow. And again, Brennan, just what a race. Hopefully tomorrow is just as good, and I imagine it will be. But once again, thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night.